Are you or somebody you know in the corporate world and thinking that maybe there's something else you want to do? Well, our next guest is going to give you some ideas on how to step from the corporate world into the entrepreneurial world. And she's got a great plan. So let's check it out.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is the Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Hey, Giant Builders, welcome. I am so glad that you are here. Oh, you know what, Giant Builders? If you have not liked our social media yet, I'm asking you to please do that. The links are below, and it really helps us reach more people. And we have such amazing guests. I know that you want to let more of your friends know about us. So please do that. Today's guest is Tabitha Jones. Hi, Tabitha. How are you?
I'm good, Lois. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I got a little tickle in my throat, but other than that, I'm doing great.
Awesome.
So, if you could tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Absolutely. I call myself the Corporate Escape Sherpa. So essentially, I am a business coach for midlife women, helping them build a business so that they can plan their corporate escape. All about making your next act your very best act. And it's taking that big step when you're not quite ready to retire, but you've had that whisper in the back of your mind telling you, why haven't you done this thing yet? So that is what I do. I help guide women out of corporate the right way, using their corporate job to finance the building of their business.
That is so cool. I mean, I've not been in corporate life. I've always been involved in small businesses, but I hear a lot of stories about corporate life and, just the goal of like, oh, one day, when is that one day? So you find midlife is kind of a sweet spot?
It's a very sweet spot, and for a couple of reasons. Primarily, a lot of us have less responsibility. Not everyone, but a lot of us, as the kids move out, and I always say, and the husbands become more dependent or
Oh, yeah,
independent.
I've not had that yet.
I know. I say it because. But we have that time. We've got that energy, and sometimes during that time, we start reflecting and thinking about the things we haven't done yet. What we have done is, and I spent more than 30 years in the corporate world, climbing the ladder, doing all the things. What we have done is built an amazing suite of expertise and skills. But sometimes there's just that niggling voice in the back that says, why haven't you done that? Why aren't you there yet? And I feel like there are times where we feel like we can't do it. It's too different. It's too scary. But this is really the time where you can do anything you want. You can change your life, you can reimagine it. And for myself, when I was in corporate, I started my business 4 years before I left. I started coaching on the side and I loved it. It was my favorite part of my job. I loved helping people advance their careers, and that's what I was doing at the time. And it gave me a really great launch pad because I could experiment. I had time, but I still had a paycheck and great bennies coming in. So, I was well taken care of. And then I found myself after a reorg in a place I just didn't really want to be anymore. I thought, ooh. And then I said, you know what? You're 50. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? And so I did it. I jumped. I left. And people are still shocked, I think, that I did it. But I just feel like I'm proving every day between myself and my clients and the people I'm meeting that it can be done. And midlife is the most fun time to do it. We're experienced, we're still feisty, and we're just really wanting to make that impact and change the world.
I love that feisty part.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're so right. That's such a great time because, like you said, the kids are probably either left the roost or they're in high school or in some area like that where I don't know about other people, but I kind of felt like I'm not really needed here. And so there was an opportunity and we're just young and we still need that mental challenge. And do you find, so what would be like the first step that you suggest for people to decide what's going to be their new business?
So, the first step, I take people through what I call the freedom framework. So, I want you to get very clear on your why. What's your purpose? Why are you doing this? Why are you being driven to do this? Then we get clear on your what. So, what skills do you really want to use? We have so many skills, just an abundance of skills, but some of them we don't like doing. I hated creating dashboards and providing data. I led technical teams, it was part of my job. I didn't want that. So, I have a little bit of that as a business owner, but I didn't want any more of that. So, figuring out really your what and what problems do you want to solve? What gifts do you want to bring forward to others? Then diving into your who. So, who do you want to work with? Give that person a name, describe her or him in full detail. Like, what are their attributes, characteristics? What do they want? And then going into your how. So, how do you want to serve these individuals and how are you going to structure your programs? So, I like to start there. Then we go through a whole bunch of things, super technical word there, things. Definitely financial runway. Those of us who came from corporate, long careers in corporate, some of us had really good salaries and we maybe were just throwing money at things without thinking, or we pay for subscriptions that we aren't even using. Or I was just working with a client, she had 3 gym memberships because one was where she was working, one is where she's living, and one was just, it's a great rate. So let's just keep renewing it. I'm like, oh, but what if we only had one and we put the difference of that money either toward paying down your debts so you feel like you have more freedom when you leave, or toward putting that money into a separate bank account so that you've got a funnel and you've got something to back you up. Because I feel like there's so many influencers that tell you how easy it is to start a business. Oh, you can work from a beach anywhere in the world, 3 hours a week, and make $10 million a year. And you and I know that's not how it works. But so we want to make sure that people are coming in with their eyes wide open and realizing there are a lot of costs associated with business and building a business. So you want to be extremely strategic about it so that your money lasts and you're feeling comfortable and confident. A big reason that I like to start with the freedom framework and the finances is because in midlife, the one thing that's scary is leaving without a plan, hoping to God it's going to work, throwing a little spaghetti at the wall, and then thinking, oh my gosh, this isn't working. I'm running out of money. I got to go back. Because there's nothing fun about searching for a job in your 50s. It definitely is harder. You're going back potentially with an extreme pay cut. Like there's so much competition right now. That strategy is truly the thing that keeps you in a very safe spot because it's going to be uncomfortable enough making the shift. So we want to make sure that you've got that strong foundation before you pull the trigger and jump.
Do you find or do you advise people to go into, like, say, a branch of their corporate life or like a hobby type thing that they love to do?
I recommend that you go and do whatever it is that makes you feel good and that you want to do. It's really easy to stick with the thing you're comfortable with at first, which I did. So I started out with job search coaching, a lot of interview prep and practice, and career advancement coaching. We were talking a little earlier about a book I wrote. I actually wrote a book on career advancement for women because, it's kind of a rinse and repeat, but there are things that women overlook, but men seem to be really great at just doing. Um, and I realized toward the end of last year, I was like, oh, I feel a little tired, a little burnt out. Like, what's going on? And I sat down and did my own freedom framework again. Like, okay, what has shifted? Where are things going? And realized I was having so much more fun helping women make their corporate escape. And that is when, I made that pivot. And I was talking to another coach, and she said, it's very common for people to go into what they think they should do initially, or what they think is going to get them the practice or that leverage. She said, but very soon after that, often your eyes are open and you're like, well, wait a minute, I didn't even think about doing this thing. So it definitely should be what lights you up. Some women have started a hobby that can turn into a strong business and it's doing what they love every day. Some want to take those corporate skills into more of a coaching or consulting business. It's the world's wide open. I love introducing women to other women who are doing things I never even knew existed 5 years ago. When I was still in corporate, I had no idea there were sleep coaches and there were Reiki masters who could read your business chakras. Like, it's so wild. Like, just there's so many things you can do. And I love connecting women who are just not really sure. Like, well, hey, why don't we go have a talk with this person? Let's see what she's doing and how that aligns. So I just say make it fun. This is our probably our last chapter. I'm not going to live to be 150. So, definitely want to make sure that we're out doing our thing and feeling good every day.
Yeah, the technology is just amazing that's available to us now as far as like
Oh,
people with YouTube channels and I see people like teaching sewing classes and things of that nature and doing what they truly just love to do and making it into an income. It's just really amazing just how wide open it is.
oh, there's so much. And I tell you, as a Gen X woman who coaches mostly Gen X women, we've learned a lot from the millennials and Gen Z because they're like, I'm not sitting at a desk for 30 hours a day. Are you crazy? They go straight into entrepreneurship. They're not afraid.
Mhm.
Where many of us were raised with more of a, well, this is what you should do. This is how you should work. This is what ladder you should climb. And this is what you should aspire to. And I'm always blown away when I meet people like yourself who haven't been in corporate, who just built these amazing businesses and grew them without that fear. But so many of us were raised to be afraid. And then we look at the youngers and we're like, oh, well, I could do that. Let me just go try.
If I could just figure out Instagram.
Oh my gosh, Instagram's the worst.
I'm going to figure it out. I've given
We
up
are.
on TikTok. I'm not going to do that one. It's just like, yeah,
I
that
will
was
not
somebody
TikTok.
else.
Same. I did find an AI tool that makes really cool Instagram reels, so we've
Uh-huh.
been experimenting there, but definitely it's been a learning experience. We'll say that.
Yeah, yeah. So like what would be like a few tips that you might give to somebody who like wants to get started? I mean, because in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, like for me as a business owner, probably one of my biggest deals is that I have to block time off on my calendar to do the things I have to do.
Yeah.
So are there things that you would suggest for people to understand before they get started that you've got to be able to do this?
Yeah. You actually took one of my first answers. It's
Oh.
absolutely calendar management because what I hear, and I actually interviewed somebody recently and she told me, there's no way I could have built a business while I was still in corporate. And I say reframe that mindset. I was a busy corporate executive. I would left my company as an executive director, leading technical teams that were scattered across the nation. So, working across 4 time zones. I had vendors in Ireland. It was hard, but I had to pick my hard. Do I want to do something hard that's going to fill my cup and lead to something in the future? Or do I want to do hard and stay in this job that is literally making me sick because I'm so stressed out all the time? And it is all about blocking time on your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it's not a priority. And we as women, again, I work mostly with women, we will do everything for everyone every time. We will drop whatever we're in the middle of doing to go and take someone to soccer practice because their mom couldn't take them that day or whatever. And if you have dedicated time on your calendar, you will make your business, your priority, a focus. And it only has to be an hour a day. And it doesn't have to be an hour all at once. It can be 15 minutes of this, listen to this podcast, 15 minutes of drafting your why, 15 minutes of scheduling a call with your financial advisor to see really where you're sitting and how comfortable you're going to be once you leave. So, calendar management is huge. The other, aside from the freedom framework and the financial piece, I would say the other piece is visibility, starting to talk about your business as if it exists and talking to people you want to work with because you need their feedback. And I was kind of on the down low at work. I couldn't really tell anyone I was planning to leave or anything, right? I don't want them to help me out the door. I wanted it to be on my timeline. So I'd say don't talk to your closest coworkers. Go talk to people on the outside. Reestablish your past network. Talk to local business owners. Talk to people who are doing what you're doing. Talk to ideal clients. Start getting feedback. Hey, I'm starting this business. Here's where I'm thinking I should be focused. What's your advice? What's your feedback? And just start speaking it into reality. I know that sounds a little woo. I'm a teeny bit woo. But it definitely, the more you talk about it, the more comfortable you get, and the more clear you get, and the more clear and confident you become. It just makes such a difference. So, calendar, finances, freedom framework, visibility, conversations, and relationship building falls in there.
Yeah, I really am getting to, and through some of my guests, I'm really getting to understand more about this visibility, this mindset thing, and just the energy in it. And at first it was like, really? Well, that doesn't make sense. But then when I started thinking about it, it's like, yeah, really, everything is energy. I mean, we are just all amazingly put together energy movement. I mean, only God could create this concept of all these things moving in us. And how we program that can make such a big difference. And, I think that part of the point of building a business is the fact that you've got to really believe in yourself and what you're offering the world because God put you on this place to do something amazing. So you should do that.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And so much of it is mindset. So I kind of flashed back a little bit on my story. I was sitting in a conference. It was a women's conference, leading with power and authenticity. I'm pretty authentic. If I don't say it, my face will. So you're going to get the real me no matter what. And I was sitting there, and these two ladies were leading the seminar, and I kept hearing this little whisper of, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you up there? And my immediate whisper back was, shh. They have multiple master's degrees. They've worked with clients all over the world. They've got these letters, this alphabet soup after their name. You can never do what they do. And as I'm laying on the floor at this seminar, and it's this whole like you have to go through this visualization, like your life has basically ended, which is a little morbid, right? But what are the things you haven't done? What are the things you're going to regret? And I was like, holy crap, is she kidding me right now? Like, can she hear that voice? It's telling me, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? So I'd say we immediately, in a lot of cases, go to self doubt or imposter syndrome or comparison or perfectionism. We have to work on our mindset so that we can squash that because it's really easy to let that voice be louder than the voice that's saying, absolutely, you can do this. You've got decades of experience. Yeah, so it's interesting. And with visibility, that voice keeps you from coming out. It keeps you from talking to people in your network. It keeps you from telling the story to your friends because you don't really want to hear their maybe judgment because they know you in a certain way. You're kind of reinventing yourself a little bit, and it can be as fun as you make it, but you got to keep that negative voice silent.
Pull out the voice that's going to say, look what you've done for all these women and look how look how you've led these women through their own new adventure or their own new self-discovery. I mean,
Yeah.
each of us have an opportunity to really impact a number of people.
Oh, so much. And in life, we impact people all the time without even trying. You treat your server at a restaurant extra kind and you say nice things and compliment the lady in line next to you at the grocery store. Little things that we do have such a big impact. And we put that together and we offer great programs or great solutions for people that are looking for the next thing. It's power, and empowering other women is so important, especially right now.
Thus, we are giant builders.
Yes.
Oh, so what does the first meeting look like with you?
Well, the first meeting with me looks like a whole lot of questions. It's a very comfortable conversation. I know I always joke, I spent so much money on different programs as I was trying to figure out my coaching style. I am not a strong arm person. We're going to ask questions. I want to know your story. I want to know what's motivating you. I really want to know what's keeping you awake at night. And how much do you believe in yourself? Like, how's this dream? We talk a lot about what type of business it is that you want to open. I generally work with people that are opening either coaching or consulting practices, working online. So that call is a lot of questions, a lot of fact gathering. And then normally, sometimes people get super excited and we just schedule right away and go forward with the program. But normally, what will happen is I will send them away with some things to think about based on the conversation. And then we'll regroup in a week and talk about what they have identified or what they found. And then talk about the next steps, which I offer a corporate escape accelerator program, which is my group program. And, if that's a great fit, that's where I invite them to join me. Some women are in a space where one-on-one is more important. They have, some emotions. We all have emotions, obviously, but some emotions that are pretty serious tied to this change, or a lot of self-doubt, or a lot of naysayers. So that's where one-on-one coaching might be a bit more effective. And so that is what I will offer. So it's very individualized and, just really based on what that client needs.
Oh, great. I love the sound of the personalization that you put into it. So that's really great. So Giant Builders, I'm going to have her information below here so you can reach out to Tabitha. Any closing thoughts?
I just want to remind everyone who's listening, men and women, it is never too late. It is never too late to change what you're doing. It's never too late to make a pivot or start something new. And if you have gifts and you have that calling that's saying, you know what, maybe corporate isn't the thing anymore, or maybe let's just dabble, let's go see what we can build, do it. If it's not me that you want to work with somebody that can guide you out. But I would love to hear from you and help you make that next chapter the best chapter.
Yeah, it's like you said, this is a good time to at least dabble in it and see if that's something that's resonating with you while you still have that corporate income. So that's
Exactly.
good slide into a new chapter of your life.
Absolutely.
Well, Tabitha, thank you so much for your insight. I'm sure that there are lots of giant builders out there questioning if this is the next step for them or the next chapters of their life. So I hope that they will definitely be reaching out to you.
Oh, I hope so too. I look forward to it.
Yeah. All right, giant builders, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.